Hello, good morning. It is February 22nd, 2024, and this is the first in a series that WiLS and EBSCO are going to be collaborating on called Thursdays with EBSCO. Once a month, we will be bringing someone from our friends at EBSCO to talk to you about resources, tools, products for our academic library members. So to kick us off this month, I'm joined by someone that I'm sure you all know and have spoken to before, Daniel Herrick, who's going to kind of give us some updates on academic databases. Dan, are you ready to take over?
I think so. We'll find out.
I've stopped my screen share, so hopefully that should make it easy for you to do yours, and then we'll get
All
on.
right. Here we go. You see what I'm seeing?
I do. Looks good.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, I'll just dive right into it. Thanks everyone for joining us. Um, if you've got questions as I'm going through, just type them in the chat. And Jeff, if you wouldn't mind just peppering me with questions as I'm going through.
Happy to do
If
it.
you see any, that would be great. Feel free to just stop me because once I'm going, I'll just keep going until someone tells me to stop. So we've got a bunch of slides to get through. I won't keep you. I know we're booked for a whole hour. I'm not going to keep you for the whole hour. But I wanted to do another overview of all the ultimate databases. Actually, we're not going to get to quite all of them. We're going to focus on a few of them, though, and we recently redid our title counts to include open access journals. So you'll see on every single one of these, if you attended the last one, or if I sent you a title list with a title count, back in the fall. You'll see these are quite a bit higher now. We realized that since both Gale and ProQuest include their open access journals in their title lists, we weren't doing ourselves any favors by only including the premium journals in our own lists. So we can get you a list of both and all of them, but that's why these titles are a little higher, but it's a better reflection of the actual content that you get within each upgrade. So let's dive right in. If I can get my screen to cooperate here. There we go. EBSCO Academic Full Text Databases. So these are almost all ultimate databases we'll talk about today because they are the best of the best. We will go from there. So one of the problems that we've heard from virtually every library over the last several years is that budgets are very, very tight. The goal is always to maximize your budget to get the best content that you can for your students, all the content they need. The more the merrier, with a high focus on the quality. So a lot of libraries we're working with have been having to cut database subscriptions or journal subscriptions, and I heard from a few libraries that there's no fat left to trim on these budgets. Everything that we're cutting now is stuff that people really want, stuff they need. So getting an option on the table to get as much full text as possible from all the best publishers, it's more important than ever. So the solution to this problem, as this lovely slide is animating, is to upgrade your EBSCO databases. I will have a little bit more on this, but you get better value when you upgrade with EBSCO because you get so much content already through the state library. We don't charge twice for anything. But if you've got databases from other vendors, there's a good chance you're paying for content twice. And if you move some of that spending over into EBSCO, we can get you a database or a package of databases to grow your collection in whatever areas you need the most. So why consider with EBSCO? Because it complements the current access that you have. You've all got the BadgerLink resources, which is a great database package. But when you upgrade with us, you only pay for the new content. So I can send you lists of every single title that you have that you'll gain from any single journal or any single database rather that you're looking at. So if you're thinking about maybe upgrading to Academic Search Ultimate, I can show you compared to everything you have in your current collection, both the databases you subscribe to and the ones you get from BadgerLink. These are the exact titles that you will add, and those are the only ones that you'll have to pay for. Additionally, we've got smart linking technology. So any indexes you have that you're bringing full text available in for many of these upgrades, connection will automatically happen. That's only from EBSCO databases to EBSCO databases. So if you've got APA indexes or you've got an MLA, any of that full text in any of your collection will automatically connect. So students get seamless access. They won't even know they're jumping from one database to another until they go to do their citation and see where the full text came from. So If you're looking to expand content, reduce duplication from cross vendors, getting the best bang for your buck, the Ultimates are the way to go. An Academic Search Ultimate is the single largest database we have. As you'll see, it has nearly 10,000 journals with current full text. Super, super valuable. More active full text journals covered in different indexes, like I said, APA PsycInfo, SciFinder, etc., and international content. As I said earlier, we've now included in our total title counts all the open access that we get. And EBSCO spends a lot of time finding and curating high quality open access content for all of our databases. You'll see that's a theme for many of the Ultimates. Because, there's a lot of great open access content out there, but it does take time and effort to find it and make that content available to students. So we pull that content, or all the content that we see as valuable enough to be included in our databases, right into Academic Search Ultimate and all the other Ultimates. So we don't charge title by title for these. It's not like, you're paying for the 5,933 active global open access titles in there. But there is the work that EBSCO does to include them and build a high quality indexing that's required to make it searchable in EBSCOHost or Discovery Service. So that's why there's more open access in the higher tiers. But as you'll see, there is also a lot of premium content. Oh, this one was supposed to not be in here. Oh, tell me I'm not on the wrong slides here. From the beginning, I thought I had this queued up right. Okay, open access journals, premium content I mentioned. So this is the value, or the cost rather, if you were to subscribe to every single journal in Academic Search Ultimate that's not open access. So to build the collection piece by piece, it would cost you almost $3.7 million. So even in a world where Academic Search costs you $100,000, which it most certainly would not, it would still be a great value because you're getting a ton of journal content, and way more than you'd ever be able to get just by spending that $100,000 title by title. And of course, as I said, they wouldn't be anywhere near that price. I just like to shoot high so that the real quote seems very good. So this is the total count. This does include open access, but that $3.7 million is only a fraction of these. But we've got 9,795 active full text journals and magazines, and of those, over 7,000 are peer-reviewed journals with no embargo. So that is just a colossal amount of content, and that's just one database in Academic Search Ultimate. And again, I can get you a list of exactly which of these titles are unique against your collection, so just let me know. Academic Search Ultimate has super high value journals from all kinds of publishers. It's the only database anywhere that has AAAS science, and that is one that pretty much all libraries want if they don't already pay for it. And so there's lots of advantages to getting that through EBSCOHost on Academic Search Ultimate. It's on unlimited simultaneous users. You get the same day that it's published, you get access in EBSCOHost. So it's a great value. We do have content from all over the world, both in premium journals and in open access. I'll just kind of skip through these, but you can see, there is great research being done all over the world, and it is very well represented in Academic Search Ultimate. And you can see that, the UK and Ireland and the USA make up the lion's share, but it does come from everywhere. I'd mentioned that that smart linking happens if you have your indexes through EBSCO. So if you're purchasing or subscribing to indexes, that full text value content is great. And that's, what people value the most. And you can see we have got a lot of full text from each of these indexes. So that concludes Academic Search Ultimate, and we are on to Business Source Ultimate. Business Source Premier is included in BadgerLink. And again, there's lots of great upgrade content that you get with the jump up to Ultimate. There's actually two jumps between Premier and Ultimate because there's Business Source Complete as well, but Ultimate brings a lot to the table that neither do. And again, you will only pay for the new content that you get when you make that upgrade. So Business Source has more active full-text peer-reviewed journals than any other business-focused database, more business-leading journals, and lots of international content. I'm sure everybody knows that business is done all over the world. There are multiple stock markets, and you can keep your finger on the pulse of everywhere by subscribing to Business Source Ultimate. I won't read this all to you again, but there are, just about 1,800 active global open access journals in Business Source Ultimate. And excluding those, there is $1.17 million worth of journal content in Business Source Ultimate. So an upgrade there gets you way more journals than you're going to be able to afford by building that title out piece by piece. Most libraries we work with don't have $1 million to subscribe to business journals only. If they have anywhere near $1 million for their journal subscriptions, they can't spend it all in one place. So if you want to get the most bang for your buck, an upgraded Business Source Ultimate will get you more of that content. Including open access, this is the title count, over 3,500 active full-text journals and magazines. And of those, over 1,700 are peer-reviewed with no embargo. So just a boatload of content. And again, we can show you all of those that are unique against Business Source Premier or Business Source Complete if you have it. And of course, against the rest of your EBSCO databases as well. I mentioned we've got journal content from all over the world. You can see that we have all of Europe well represented, lots of Asia, South America, Central America, and of course, the lion's share comes from the United States. Not that I'm biased, but I think that's the best content. Lots of non-journal content too. That $1.17 million figure I quoted only is for journals. So this doesn't include the value brought by case studies, of which there are over 14,000, company profiles, conference papers. All of these are in addition. And of course, the videos from the Associated Press, over 70,000, over 60,000 videos in business and economics, over 100 videos from the Academy of Management. So a lot of content beyond just those thousands of open access journals and thousands of premium journals worth over that $1 million. One area that we hear a lot about these days is STEM content. Applied Science and Technology Source Ultimate is the best of the best out there. You guys do have Computers and Applied Sciences Complete, which is kind of a subset of Applied Science. There's a decent amount of overlap, so you would get a really good price break on Applied Science and Technology Source Ultimate. And again, you'll notice a theme. There's just more active full-text peer-reviewed journals in Applied Science and Technology Source Ultimate than there are from any other vendors' applied science and STEM databases, with very well-represented journals from all over the world. A very similar, probably familiar-looking slide by now of open access journals. We've got over 1,500 Applied Science and Technology Source Ultimate. Research is done all over the world and people try to make it open as they can. So we curate all the best of the best that we can into Applied Science and Tech Source Ultimate. But again, excluding those open access titles, to get all of the content title by title, it would cost you over $500,000. So if you're keeping tabs between the three of these databases, we're well over $5 million in content just for the handful of them. And for a journal count, including open access, over 2,000 active full-text journals and magazines, over 1,500 of which are peer-reviewed with no embargo. So 75% of that is the same day that it's printed, you get access in Applied Science and Technology Source with no limitations on simultaneous users. So your students can access it anywhere, anytime, on their phone, on a computer, on a tablet, the same day it's published. Not too bad. And again, content from all over the world where research is done every day, great stuff happening in Japan and Korea, all over China, of course, all over Europe. So we try to capture the best of all of it. And just a handful of the titles here that are unique to Applied Science and Technology Source Ultimate with no embargo. And I'll say here as I'm clicking through these that I'll send these slides over to Jeff. And if you want to see them from me, you can email me or Paula, and we'll provide these to you. So you don't have to write all these down now, although please do feel free to. One of the ultimates that we don't talk about quite as much because there is so much demand for business content. And once Sinel Ultimate came out, that was a very popular one. But Humanities Source Ultimate is another excellent database. To stick with the theme, of course, we've got more full text in Humanities Source Ultimate than any other humanities database anywhere, and we can run title comparisons to show you that. This one, we've got over 800 global open access journals in there. And again, those are all treated with the high quality subject indexing. So you can find everything you're looking for, and your students don't have to go to multiple places to find all this great content. Here is the active full text premium journal subscription value. These are all very wordy qualifiers for what these things are called, but again, it would cost you over $300,000 to subscribe to every single journal in Humanities Source Ultimate for which you're getting current full text, and that does not account for all that great open access content you're getting on top of that. Again, these lovely title count slides. For the active full text journals and magazines, we're over 1,700 again, and of that 1,700, nearly 1,200 are peer-reviewed with no embargo. So lots of great content in there, super reliable stuff. Your students will find everything that they need to cover the humanities. And again, these are published from all over the world, with, of course, the lion's share coming from the United States and then the UK and Ireland. So here is a nice selection of just some of the journals that are available with no embargo, none of which are available in Gale or ProQuest. And another one that I could personally spend more time telling people about is Sociology Source Ultimate. We have a lot of libraries that subscribe to Sociindex and some that subscribe to Social Work Abstracts. But Sociology Source Ultimate is the best that we've got, with loads and loads of current full text, more active full text, of course, than any other sociology database out there. And again, I can give you title lists to demonstrate that. In Sociology Source Ultimate, we have over 800 active global open access journals, very high value content that we've, again, curated and applied our own subject indexing to make it discoverable in EBSCOHost or Discovery Service. And to get all of the premium journals, it would cost you nearly $400,000. So if you are, building out your collection, maybe you've got Sociindex, maybe you've got Sociindex with full text, and you just are trying to get more full text, maybe you've subscribed to a few databases from different vendors, consolidating your subscription through Sociology Source Ultimate, you're only going to be paying for that new content, and you'll be getting nearly $400,000 worth of premium journals in addition to all that open access content. And so the formula here, over 1,300 active full text journals and magazines, over 900 of which are peer reviewed with no embargo. That's just a ton of content that, students covering sociology, social work, lots of the social psychology kinds of things are all covered in here. So they can spend all day long doing their research for any of those, family studies types of classes. These are all very similar slides, so I think you kind of get the idea here. But again, most of the content from all over the world comes from the UK and from the United States, but we do represent all of the best from the whole globe. And again, a nice selection of titles that are not available in any ProQuest database that are available with current full text in Sociology Source Ultimate. Oh, I'm flying through these. I might actually have time to jump over into some other slides here. So the value I mentioned for Sociology Source Ultimate is only accounting for the journal content. So that doesn't include the hundreds of videos from these top providers listed here, and all the other non-journal or video content that you get supplementary. And of course, the videos are not available in Sociindex with full text. So if you have Sociindex with full text now, you'll get all these videos in addition to all the extra journals. Additional databases. So the dozen database upgrade package. I don't think we have anybody yet that has all of these, but in a world where you're trying to get as much content as possible, this is definitely the single best, most affordable way to get as much content as you possibly can. These 12 databases together will be a larger collection than I think any of our libraries would have on their own. And we've got some slides here to highlight that. So for the 5 ultimates that I've talked about so far, here are the title counts. Whoops, I didn't mean to go to that one yet. As to how it compares to ProQuest, those 5 taken together, you can see have over 13,000 titles unique to EBSCO with almost 4,000 overlap. ProQuest does have some unique content in there. And again, I can get you title lists to show you all of those. But there is a measure of which of these journals are deemed valuable enough for EBSCO to include in our subscriptions. So we can get you those lists and you can make that judgment call. But compared one to the other, we've got just these 5 against every single database that ProQuest has to offer, and we're already way ahead in title counts. Against Gale, again, we've got even more unique stuff. They actually do have a slightly higher unique title count in all of their databases against ProQuest, or rather, as opposed to ProQuest. But I think if you took a comb through and looked at those titles by title, to see which you'd actually choose to subscribe to, I think you would find that that list of 4,000 gets dwindled down very significantly because there's a lot of filler in their databases. So a few screens back, ready? I'm just going to really make you dizzy and go through all these. So if you take all 12 of these as one package, and bearing in mind that we have a bunch more databases than just these, and compare that to every single database that ProQuest has to offer, you can see that we've got a whole lot more unique content, especially if you go to the active full text with peer review journals with no embargo. It's not even close. There is way more stuff that EBSCO brings to the table than ProQuest. And against Gale, those numbers look even better. So I'd be happy to quote you a package of all 12 if you're interested, but most people will just pick and choose the ones that they want. But the most cost-effective way that you could provide these 20,000 titles would be through that package. All right. And I said we've got some other ones. So I am going to stop sharing for 1 second while I try to find my other slide that I had. I was telling Jeff that I had been working on this slide just this morning. I don't know what I did between then and now to rearrange things because I had pulled all these in. So let's talk a little bit more about CINAHL Ultimate here. Am I sharing? I'm not sharing. Boom. All right, now I'm sharing. So CINAHL Ultimate, we released a couple of years ago, and I think it was probably the most popular database that we've ever released. We have had dozens of libraries upgrade since it's come out. Maybe a couple dozen have looked up or upgraded, from whatever they have to another higher version of CINAHL since this came out every year. But CINAHL Ultimate is the best thing out there for nursing and allied health content. And there are a couple of WiLS groups for CINAHL, so we can get you quotes to upgrade through there very easily, and you can keep those nice renewal increase rates that you get locked into those groups too. What's going on here? There we go. So CINAHL Ultimate covers all nursing and allied health specialties, including all of these listed here and more. So specialized nursing programs that need niche journal content to cover, psychiatric nursing or physical therapy, pediatric nursing, all these specialized areas are all covered. It's not just, general nursing. There's lots and lots of good stuff in here. For that journal title counts, including the open access, there are nearly 800 full text journals and magazines, of which nearly 1,300 are peer-reviewed with no embargo. And that's better, again, than any other database out there for nursing and allied health. We've got content coming from all over the world. Again, super high valuable research is being done everywhere these days, and we want to account for the best of all of it, and it is all accounted for in here, with once again not the vast majority, but certainly the majority coming from the United States. These are all available with no embargo in Sonal Ultimate, and there's quite a lot of them, so I'll click through, and again, I'll send all these slides over to Jeff, or if you want to request them from him, or you can request them from us directly, and we can put these title lists together for you so you can really dive into them and comb them out, because this is a great selection, but there are a whole lot more than what's represented here. And another slide you've probably seen something similar to today a couple of times already is the active full text non-open access journal retail value of Sonal Ultimate. It's a little bit of a tongue twister, but again, it would cost you over $400,000, nearly $500,000 to subscribe to every journal in Sonal Ultimate, and that's not including the open access content in there. So if you're trying to get journal content, current journal content for your nursing programs, there is no better resource than Sonal Ultimate. And I think I might have had another one in there somewhere, but if you do have questions about any of these, if you want to see title comparisons, we can help with all of that. We can run title comparisons again against your current EBSCO collection. So, what does Sonal Ultimate bring to the table that you're not getting with Sonal plus with full text and all of your other EBSCO databases put together? I can have that list run for you. If you want to see how it compares to ProQuest Nursing and Allied Health or any other combination of your ProQuest databases or your Gale databases, we have a team at EBSCO that does those comparisons for you so that you don't have to spend the time building those lists out yourself. That's all they do. So if you want to see these lists, just let us know. The more requests they get, that's just job security for them. So they don't mind doing it, and we don't mind asking that of them. It's a free service as well. So if you want to see, how does Academic Search Ultimate compare to ProQuest One, or how does Business Source Ultimate compare to ABI Inform, we can run all those title lists for you and show you everything, just because we know that at the end of the day, we have more high value full text than either Gale or ProQuest in any discipline, and we're happy to put our title lists up for comparison. So I think that covers all that I had to do for the Ultimates, but we have lots and lots of databases. I'll actually real quick, how do I stop sharing here? There we go. I'm going to jump into this page real quick and show you where you can jump into databases and archives. All right. Now, we may have shown you this before. There we go. Okay. So this database up here, or this page up here, which I found by navigating to this website up here and jumping right here. And again, I can get you this list if you just shoot me an email. I'll send you this link. But this is a great place to check out all of EBSCO databases. Here are all of our Ultimate databases listed here, but you can see we have tons of them. I mean, we're on one page and we're still not even out of the A's. So anything you're looking for, art and architecture, you can click over here if this thing is going to accommodate here and see that we have lots of resources available for just art. Agriculture and food science, if this will cooperate. We've got several options for that. Food science and technology source abstracts with full text. We haven't even talked about CAB abstracts with full text. We haven't talked about both great databases that aren't included in the Ultimates, and these aren't included in that dozen list either. So if you want to bring in even more, we could put a package of 20 databases together if you'd be curious. But title lists, free trials, title comparisons, all of those are free from us. So spend some time if you're curious, check out and see the different databases we have. We've probably got a lot more than you know about. We've probably even got more than I know about. And as I tell everybody, database trials are free. They come with no obligation, and they're very easy for me to set up. So if you want to check something out for a month or two, just because you're curious and you know you're not going to be able to buy it, that's totally fine with me. I know that sometimes it takes a while to get people on board to even make a change, and they want to give things a test drive. So if you're curious to see, hey, how would Academic Search Ultimate run? Can we set up a 90-day trial? Yes, we can. Just send me an email or send Jeff an email or reach out to Paula Brewster, and we can get that going for you. If you just give us a few days notice, we're happy to set those up anytime. So I think that covers it for what I had to go through. I really appreciate everyone's time and bearing with me as I've realized I had the wrong PowerPoint up there. So if there's anything else that you want to see, any of those title comparisons or trials or information on any of the databases, just let us know, and we're happy to help any way we can.
Thanks so much, Dan. And don't worry about the slides. It was not a big deal. I once ran an entire webinar with basically the wrong screen up, and everything that I was pointing out to people was like this big on their screen, and I didn't even realize it until the end. So that was pretty annoying. But yeah, thank you so much for giving us that tour. Again, I'm always blown away by just the amount of content and really valuable resources that our members can get from you. I'll echo what Dan said. Please reach out to us here at WiLS, reach out to him directly. I see Paula has joined us. Paula, are you still in the tropics? And you still can't?
Yes.
Paula's on vacation, I think, and is joining us. That shows her commitment to you.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So.
I'm headed to Wisconsin on Monday, so looking forward to seeing everyone there. So
Great. Well,
that's so funny. I didn't even see that you joined. I was so
Yeah.
focused on
right.
figuring out which PowerPoint I was trying to do.
Well, I haven't seen any questions come into the chat or anything, so I think we can just reiterate, if you do think of questions later, of course, the people here joining me on the screen will be happy to hear from you directly. I'm always happy to hear from you too, and we'll get you the answers you need. As I mentioned at the beginning of the session, this is the first in a series. We're going to be coming back every month with new EBSCO information from Dan and Paula, but also other folks there at EBSCO to talk about their areas of expertise. So I think it's going to be a really cool series. So yeah, join us again next month. I should have put the date on here for our next session, and I don't have it. So I'm just going to say that, as always, you'll get additional announcements and emails about when to join us again. Anything else, Dan or Paula?
No, I just appreciate everyone's time, and we're eager to help. So just let us know if you need anything.
Absolutely.
Right. Great. Well, thanks everybody for joining us, and those watching the recording, thank you too. And we'll talk to you again soon. Bye all.
All right. Bye, everyone. Take care.